What's going on, people out there in YouTube land? Today we're going to talk about some league around the new, news around the league in the NFL. We're going to really get into championship weekend. You know, the two games that's going on. It's 3 games left in the NFL season, and at the end of the day, it's going to be only going to be one team happy. I'm interested to see who that team's going to be. Can the Kansas City make 3-peat? Can a rookie go to the Super Bowl? You know, in his first year. Um, can Jalen Hurts get back? Can Josh Allen finally conquer all his demons? So we're going to find out all those questions this weekend, and then a couple of weeks from now, they'll go ahead and crown a Super Bowl champion. So get into that. Then we're gonna get into this off season so far in the NFL. All these different teams hiring new lead men to run their teams for the foreseeable future. And we'll get into that and my thoughts on that and what you guys think. I definitely want to hear what you guys think about it as well. And that's how we're gonna roll today. So guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys out here I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come and hear me talk about all things sports, and today in particular, NFL. So guys, let's get right into it today. Like I said, it's a championship weekend this weekend. We got two exciting games definitely going on this weekend. Um, the first game on the docket, I'm not even sure the actual schedule. So let's take a look at that. I know because they got some late games. So the first game on the docket is actually going to be the Commander versus the Eagles up at FedEx Field, and it's going to be at 3 p.m. So right, so we looking at that game first. Can Jaden Daniels go into Philadelphia Eagles with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts and that squad? Dick Fangio run defense and see can they conquer the beast. They split the season series this year, so this is the third time they're playing each other. Now, interesting. And the second game, Jalen Hurts did go out in that game with a concussion. So, um, and Jaden Daniels didn't really have a really good game. He had a couple of, a few turnovers in that game, but he did have that great end of the game drive to actually win the game for them. So, just having one of the miraculous rookie seasons for a quarterback in NFL history. So, but it's going to be interesting to see can the Commanders go out and stop Saquon Barkley for doing some of the things that he liked to do, or are they going to make Jalen Hurts beat them from the pocket and try to pass the ball to his really, really good, receiving core that he got there with AJ Brown and their crew, right? So it's going to be a matchup. Dick Fangio, what he's going to be able to dial up against um, the outstanding rookie and Jaden Daniels. So that's really going to be interesting, guys. I know you guys are excited to see that. I'm definitely excited to see it. Um, I'm going to go with the veteran team right now, and that's the Eagles. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders go in there because the way Jaden Daniels is playing. What I like about Jaden Daniels more than anything is his poise. And they had to put a stat up against the blitz in particular. He was really, really good at that. He know where to go with the ball. And sometimes, guys, when you think about young quarterbacks, they get happy feet, right? Because they start looking at the pass rush instead of looking down the field, understanding where the blitz coming from, and be able to do and get rid of the ball and things like that. So, but Jaden Daniel is seeing like a seasoned vet in doing that. He seemed like he already always know where to go with the ball. In the last game against the Detroit Lions, he was just on money. Every time they tried to send a blitz, he was able to capitalize on it. So, it's going to be interesting to see how Dick Fangio is definitely going to try to, game plan against him with a running quarterback. And when I always think about running quarterbacks, and I always think about how good the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in the days did against a guy like Michael Vick, right? Um, they made Michael Vick be a pocket passer, right? They know how dynamic he was in the run game. So instead of rushing up the field and creating those lanes for him to get out the back door and things like that. They sat there and made him in the pocket. They still had a good rush plan, but everybody was sound. And we talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a whole bunch of Hall of Famers on it. I understand that, but at the same time, I think that's probably the best game plan for Dayton Daniels. Don't let him get out the pocket. Keep him in the pocket. I would drop a lot of men, make him think about it a little bit more in there. He is a rookie, and give him different looks. I wouldn't give him the same looks all game and things like that. So that's what I would do. I mean, now for the Commanders, on the Commander side of the ball, they need to continue doing what they're doing. I think Cliff Kingsbury has done a great job with Jayden Daniels. Cliff Kingsbury, you can say what you want to say about him being a head coach in this league, but as an offensive coordinator, he's been really, really good. So I really like what he has done with Jayden Daniels. And what can we say about Dan Quinn? Dan Quinn is, the Atlanta Falcons former head coach. Second season took the team to the Super Bowl. The next season after that went to the division round. Had an opportunity to go back to the NFC Championship game. So, Dan Quinn know how to come in, and he galvanizes guys, and they believe right off the bat, and you see how well that team has done. And then if you go look at a situation like the Commanders, which is really, really impressive. If you look at their cap sheet, it's how much money they got going into free agency this offseason. It's really scary to see what the Commanders potentially be in the NFC East. So, props up to Dan Quinn, that whole, the organization, guys that bought the team, partnered with Magic Johnson and things like that. You just got to be really impressed what you've seen from the Commanders. So, but I think it's the Eagles' games to lose. They have home field advantage. They are the most seasoned team. So, losing to the Commanders would really be an upset. They should come in. They should get this job done, right? They got one of the best defense in the league. Jalen Carter been playing, lights out. And I know Jayden Daniels, we see Jalen Carter up there. He might start having flashback when he was at LSU. And everybody remember that iconic picture of him picking him up and holding him up in the air. So, I think they can get the blueprint, the bottle of Jayden Daniels, but at the same time, you got to get it done where the ball's down to. And for them on the offensive side of the ball, they just need to run Saquon, man. I'm not 100% not sure 100% is Jalen Hurts going into this game. He did, fall on his knee, and he already got threats out there from the defensive coordinator on the Commander side, saying you better make him, if you make him a runner, they're gonna lay wood to him. So I think that game is gonna be exciting. Both games gonna be exciting, but this one really gonna be exciting. You got the young Jalen Hurts, up and coming quarterback, against the rookie phenom, and we're gonna see how it panned out. My pick for that game, I'm definitely going to go ahead and make picks today, and my pick for that game is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's see what happens. See if I'm going to be wrong. Now the next matchup, I think, is probably one of the best matchups in a long time. And the narratives are always good. That's what you like about sports, because you can tell stories when you think about sports, right? In the regular season, the Buffalo Bills have really been good against the Kansas City Chiefs. In the playoffs, they have not, right? And that's what it matters the most. So it's about time for the Buffalo Bills, even though they got to go to the Arrowhead Stadium and play. They got to see, can they go in and make some noise, right? That's what they got to do. We got a potential MVP there, and Josh Allen coming in against a really, really good Kansas City Chiefs defensive team. Steve Spagnuolo has just been really, really good. Look how many Super Bowls he got as a coordinator. So it's going to be really good. It's going to be really interesting to see how, Josh Allen attack, the Kansas City Chiefs this time. Look like everybody's back healthy. I think the rest that the Kansas City Chiefs had, helped them out. It looked like they were a little bit rusty the last game. But they got a game out the way. So we're going to see if they're going to be able to hit on all cylinders. We know Andy Reid is going to come out with some good stuff. And Steve Spagnuolo, what he does when he start to panic, right? He start to bring that blitz, and it seems like his blitz is always get to the quarterback and bring it home. Now we know how good Josh Allen is, being off schedule, doing things like that, running the ball, big quarterback. So he's gonna have to be. He don't have. I think he might have to be Superman. This game. Some people saying that he just need to not make mistakes. That's 100% true. He can't have a 126-yard passing game. I do believe that. So if he do that, I think they're gonna lose against the Kansas City Chiefs. But I do think he can't make mistakes. But I believe he's gonna have to make some of those spectacular plays to go into Arrowhead and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Far as the Kansas City Chiefs, and like I said, stories write itself, right? We look at the Kansas City Chiefs, opportunity to actually go in and be the first team in NFL history to three-peat in the Super Bowl. So in the Super Bowl, that would be something that the Patriot dynasty wasn't able to do. That good Pittsburgh Steelers dynasty, the great 49ers dynasty, all the Dallas Cowboys, even Dallas Cowboys, they won 3, but they wasn't back to back, right? Back to back. So we know that it's going to be the first time, and they won it. They won it bad. This might be the most vulnerable they have been in their Super Bowl run. I know a lot of people probably said that last year when they had to go on the road twice, right? They had to go on the road twice, and that Kansas City Chiefs team was able to pull it off. Pat Mahomes, man, just playing, flawless football in the NFL. No turnovers in the playoffs in the last 2 postseasons so far. And that's a recipe for success. It 100%. It's going to be interesting to see, if they can actually get something going on offensive side of the ball. They've been stagnant all year long. They finally, got healthy. They got Hollywood Brown back. It seemed like they have really found a role for Worthy, right? You got Pacheco in the backfield doing his thing. Kareem Hunt being that big running back for them. Chris Jones, like he's back, from his injury that he had. Snead, I mean not Snead. I can't think of the cornerback name right now, but the excellent cornerback that they got in the backfield. So they got a good solid team. It's going to be interesting to see. The cornerback name McDuffie. It's going to be interesting to see how this game goes. I think it's going to be It's going to be an exciting Sunday for us guys watching these two games unfold. But let's see, can the Buffalo Bills go into Arrowhead Stadium and slay the beast? I know if you looking across the league and around the sports world, everybody tired of the dynasty. They're ready for the Kansas City Chiefs to fall. I know everybody put the narrative out that they get help and things like that, but I just think they just make plays when they got to make plays, right? I mean, even if the referees help you out, you still got to go out and make plays, and that's what they do. They make plays. It's not like referee put the ball in their hands and score touchdowns, or they help them block kicks or get sacks on quarterbacks and things like that. I know, I understand, and I agree. Some of the things and I think they should implement replay in the NFL. I know that people saying they shouldn't do it, but I think they should. And that can alleviate some of the questionable calls that the refs are able to make in some of these games. But on all in all, it's going to be a really, really good game. I think these teams are evenly matched, right? Because they got 2 great quarterbacks, 2 solid defenses. And let's think about the Buffalo Bills. We talked about their defense. Nobody expected them to be this well, because they did lose a lot of pieces on the defensive side of the ball, in the free agency. And then to come to think, Josh Allen on the offense side of the ball, they revamped. They really did revamp their offense to let Josh be the main guy, right? I don't think he had 1,000-yard receiver this year. They more running attack. They kind of utilized the two tight end a little bit more. So, they changed their offense as well to fit, their personnel. And see, that's a sign of a good coach. So you do got like Brady, the offensive coordinator for that. And so I love that it's going to be an exciting game, right? Um, Josh Allen has just been playing lights out. The Achilles heels for him, throughout the years was turnovers, and this year he was able to limit those. You look at the game last week against the Baltimore Ravens. I believe, and I think most of us believe that the Ravens was the better team last weekend, but the better team didn't win because the Ravens had too many mistakes. And in playoff games, you have too many mistakes. That's where it really kills you, right? And it just you have too many mistakes. I talk about my beloved Falcons. That 5 game stretch that Kirk Cousins had when he had 8 interceptions and no touchdowns. Those 8 interceptions would pretty much cost the Atlanta Falcons for playing in the playoffs. That's just where it really boils down to, and that's in the regular season. Just imagine, how much it magnifies, and each mistake that you make, it just is more and more in a playoff game because it's win or go home. When your season is over. That's just the way it is. So I believe this game is really going to come down to the turnover battle. Who's going to make the mistake first? And I think the first team that make mistakes probably going to lose the game. That's what it really boils down to. So my pick for this game is going to be, and I'm just going for the story. I want to see the three-peat, guys. So I'm going for the story. And yes, it's a rematch of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, right? The Philadelphia Eagles against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think it's going to be a rematch, right? So let's see if my predictions are right. I think either game that we watch tomorrow could go the other way, because I don't see a team that's just so much dominant that's in there. I really don't. I mean, I'm just being honest about the whole thing. I don't see a team that like they're just head and shoulders above another team. So that's why they play the game. It's any given Sunday. For a professional league of all the sports, this is the most parity for professional sports, and it's the NFL. And, I mean, it really is. You look at like basketball is so top heavy. They got they got like 4 teams that's really good, and all the other teams are mediocre or bad, right? You go to baseball, you got the Dodgers just buy the whole league because there's no salary cap there. So when you look at professional sports and you look at NFL, it has the most parity. It just really do, and that's why every year, fan base come out and say we got a chance. That's just really boils down to, because your team from last year is not going to translate for what you did this year. I mean, it's just not that easy. You're starting over, and that's what it's all about. And guess what? That's a great transition to my next topic, and that is the coaches, the new NFL coaches, guys, in the NFL, right? Let's talk about the new NFL coaches. And it was a lot. It was a lot of new coaches. I mean, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new NFL head coaches, and still one to go. The one to go is gonna be the New Orleans Saints, right? We know they still waiting, and it seems like they can't find their guy, right? All the sexy coaches are gone. They still got guys out there like got Mike McCarthy still can be a candidate for them. Um, Other than that, I don't know who they might consider bringing in to be the New Orleans Saints head coach, but that's going to be interesting. Hey, hey, what's up, man? I'm a fan of your channel. Just want to ask you to engage in my. I've been experimenting with my wife. Any tips? I don't even know what that is, man. You got to elaborate a little bit more on that. So let's get into these head coaches, right? So the New York Jets um hire Aaron Glenn, right? Guy going home, got drafted from, got drafted by the New York Jets going home. I think it's the job he wanted to have. I think it was an excellent hire by the New York Jets. Um, it's going to be interesting to see how he's able to turn that team around. Um, quarterback situation is going to be interesting too. Do they bring back Aaron Rodgers for his third season here? Right, that's going to be interesting to see what they do with Aaron Rodgers. Um, but Aaron Glenn coming in, I think it's a great hire. Coach probably deserved the job, for a while, and you look at the job he was able to do with the Detroit Lions after all those injuries they sustained. Going 15-2, I know disappointment in the end. Like I said, there's only going to be one team that's going to be happy. It's only going to be one team that's going to be happy. Um, at the end of the year. So Aaron Glenn did a great job with the Detroit Lions defense. He really did. It just caught up with him. And honestly, if you look at that game against the Commanders, it was the turnovers from their end that what really lost the game. The mistakes that the offense made more than what the defense side did. Now you go look at the score. Yes, it was a lot of points that was given up, but they've been doing it all year. Trying to put a band-aid on that defense, and so that's what it was all about. He said, "Do you want Gruden in Atlanta?" No, do not want Gruden in Atlanta. Um, but but Aaron Glenn is going to be a good coach, man. I really believe that. So, you know, guys, definitely let me know what you think about Aaron Glenn going to the New York Jets. Like I said, it's a reunion. His first team that he had when he got drafted, and now he's going back home. It's the team that he wanted to go to. I think his backup team was the New Orleans Saints, and I'm glad he didn't actually get to go to the Saints. He was able to go to the New York Jets. So Aaron Glenn is going to be the head coach for the New York Jets. The Chicago Bears signed Ben Johnson. Um, Chicago Bears signed Ben Johnson, right? Got Ben Johnson, right? He got his quarterback. That's your first key when you're going into a new job. You look at Ben Johnson offenses since he's been in Detroit, they've been top 5 every year. He's going to be able to get, you know, his quarterback going, Caleb Williams. I love to see, the idea of being able to get a guy like Caleb Williams going. I like that. I'm excited about that. One thing about young quarterbacks, right? When they have to keep changing their offensive coordinator year in and year out, that's not a good environment for a young quarterback. That's Peyton Manning mentioned that, changing offenses every now you have to learn something new. And it's not easy, right? These offensive coordinators got their different philosophies and things like that. You got to go in, learn a whole new system. It's really tough, right? Especially for a young quarterback that don't have that professional experience. So Ben Johnson being the head coach and also being an excellent offensive coordinator from the past should help Caleb Williams out, right? He can install a system. They could, build that Sean Payton, Drew Brees type relationship where the head coach and the quarterback should be there for a long time, and then coaches go in and coaches go out. Sort of like what happened to the Detroit Lions, right? Because the question now, losing Aaron Glenn and losing Ben Johnson, right? Now Dan Campbell got to go out and he got to replace that, right? If he was smart, he should have already been, grooming somebody to take those guys' place because he knew it was coming. He knew there was really, really good two hot coaches that he had on his staff. And if you have winning success, more than likely, you're going to lose one of your coordinators. He lost both, so he should have had already had a contingency plan in place for that for his two coaches. But Ben Johnson going to Chicago, I think it's going to help Caleb Williams out. I think it's going to, stabilize that offense They still need offensive line, but they already got the weapons there to help build that team. DeAndre Swift, Rome Meduze, Keenan Allen, Everett. They got really, really good weapons for Caleb Williams to be successful. They just need to, get him into a good system, get him knowledgeable, understanding, and then get some couple offensive linemen. He already had a solid defense, so I don't think the defense should falter off that good. They're in a really, really good division, with the Lions, with the Packers. And so it's going to really be interesting to see, how, and the Vikings. Don't want to forget the Vikings, because the Vikings was 14-3. So, that's going to be the NFC North going to be hell, right? And Ben Johnson already laying fires out there because, putting smoke out there because he already saying about being the Packers, right? So it's going to be exciting to watch that division next year, and watching Ben Johnson go up against, the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers and those Minnesota Vikings. So I like that hire. Between the Aaron Glenn hire going to the Jets and the Ben Johnson hire, I think they're two really good picks, for those organizations. And hopefully they can get up running. Hopefully they give these coaches opportunity to put their, build their culture, and don't give them 1 year, to try to build a culture or something like that. All right, the next team is the Jacksonville Jaguars, and everybody know the story about this. Liam Cohen took the job with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He got the general manager fired, Trent Baalke, and he was really going back to Tampa Bay. Hooray! He did not go. It's going to be interesting to see who Tampa Bay find to replace Liam Cohen. This 2 years in a row now that Baker Mayfield is getting a new offensive coordinator. It didn't affect him last year. He was able to go out. They won the division again, unfortunately, against our Atlanta Falcons. But Liam Cohen, a lot of people like this. I hadn't even really heard of Liam Cohen until this year when he was the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But they really wanted him. I think their first choice was Ben Johnson, but they got their second guy in Liam Cohen. He's going to be the guy for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hopefully, he can fix Trevor Lawrence and find out what his issue is and why Trevor Lawrence cannot, get on track the way he need to get on track. That's what we need to find out, right? Next team is New England Patriots. New England Patriots, bring back Mike Vrabel. I don't think nobody was surprised about this. Unfortunately, they did the his predecessor wrong. They really did. They only gave him 1 year. That just was not fair. You can't, like I just mentioned, that you can't build a culture in 1 year. But they wanted Mike Vrabel, a guy that they knew was going to be during the coaching cycle, and they might miss out on him. So, New England Patriots made a decision to get rid of their old coach and bring in Mike Vrabel. I think this is a good hire. I think Mike Vrabel is a good coach. He's a no nonsense guy. Already got a quarterback in place. I think the teams, coaches that got quarterbacks that came in is going to be set up for success right away, right? So you look at a guy like Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen, Mike Vrabel, Aaron Glenn situation. If we bring back Aaron Rodgers, he still got a quarterback, but he do need to start to plan for the future, right? So we'll see. Now, Mike Vrabel did already bring in one of his coordinators, which is Mike McDonald, is his offensive coordinator, right? So, Mike McDaniels, I said Mike McDonald. Mike McDaniels, surprise, surprise, right? Somebody that knows the New England Patriots. Mike McDaniels is a good offensive coordinator, so I understand bringing somebody that he trusts. And we talked about trust issues, with coaches bringing in somebody they trust to run their one of their sides of the ball on offense, defense. So Mike McDaniels coming in to be the offensive coordinator for Mike Vrabel, going to New England Patriots. Not a surprise. Like I said, they have their quarterback. Now he can build a team like he wants. It's another team that has a lot of cap space, so they could be really, really, big in free agency this offseason to build that team to where they want to go. They're in a tough division as well, going up against, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets. So we're going to see about that division as well, and that's the AFC East. The next team is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders actually hired the oldest coach in the NFL right now, which is Pete Carroll. He don't act 74. He's 74-year-old. He'll be 74 in September, but he don't act 74. So I think this is a good hire for them. You look at the guys who making the decision up there, guys like Tom Brady, want to bring in a veteran coach, somebody that's going to create a culture and with a pedigree of a good track record. And if you look at Pete Carroll, it's nothing but that. From his days in New England, um, going back to USC, winning 2 national championships, 11 playoff wins, for Pete Carroll. So he has a lot of experience. The only issue with the Las Vegas Raiders, they do not have a quarterback. So they got to find their quarterback. Maybe they go get a veteran quarterback. The relationship he has with a team like Russell with Russell Wilson. Maybe they could have a reunion there, and he could be a bridge quarterback for somebody coming in. But Pete Carroll is going to get these guys playing good football. I can just see it. It's tough because the division he in, with the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs. So that's why you bring in a veteran coach like Pete Carroll in that division, because you're going up with Sean Payton, Andy Reid, man, and Jim Harbaugh. So you're already is going up against some really good coaches. So you need to bring in a coach like Pete Carroll. I think it was a great hire for the Las Vegas Raiders. I wouldn't even mind if Pete Carroll went to Chicago as well, because that would have really stabilized, things for Caleb Williams. But this is a good hire for Las Vegas. Now they got to figure out their quarterback situation. They're picking 7th. I don't think they can get the top 2 quarterbacks unless they trade up and to get those guys. But as of right now, I think it was a good hire for the Las Vegas Raiders. And they have a few pieces that's already there. Max Crosby, of course. And then on the offensive side of the ball, you got the phenom tight end. So, you got something to start off. Brock Bowers on the offensive side, and you got Max Crosby on the defensive side. But they got a lot of holes they need to fill with that. But the first thing they need to do is figure out their quarterback situation. All right, let's get to some fun here. The Dallas Cowboys go out and sign Brian Schottenheimer, right? I'm not surprised about this at all. Look at Jerry Jones' track record since he let go of Jimmy Johnson. This is pretty much the particular. This is what he do. This the kind of guy he hires most of the time. Brian Schottenheimer has been in the league for a long time, has never had opportunity to be a head coach, but now he, just like Jerry said, he's not a assistant coach anymore. He's the head man. So it's going to be interesting to see what Brian Schottenheimer can actually bring to this team. He was the offensive coordinator last year, so the continuity there with the offense and Dak Prescott is going to be there. That's going to be good. He already announced his defensive coordinator, which is going to be Matt Eberflus. So that's going to be interesting to see. Now they're going away from Mike Zimmer, going to Matt Eberflus. What we know about Matt Eberflus, his defense in Chicago's was really successful. So now we just got to see him put the pieces together. They have a talented roster already, but they need to. It's all for me when I think about the Cowboys. I don't think it's about their roster. I think about building the culture and winning the games that you're supposed to win, and that's where the Cowboys' issues have been. But the fan base for the Cowboys right now is not happy with this signing, but it could turn out to be really successful. You don't know. And just like I started when I started this segment about new NFL coaches, that every year, teams come in with hope, because that's the parity in the NFL, with the draft and free agency and looking at things different, going out and studying film. You can come out and a team can go from worst to first in the NFL. That's how it is. And the whole cliche in any given Sunday is true. It's really true. So we'll see about this hire with Brian Schottenheimer. Like I said, this is probably the one of the most unsexiest hires that the NFL from the coaching, you know, um, circuit this year going out for NFL teams. But Jerry Jones got his man, Brian Schottenheimer. Congratulations, you're the new coach for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, let's get to a couple of coordinators that got signed. San Francisco brought back Robert Saleh. Great hire. We know the track record they had with there. I know he was in the running for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was also in the running. Cowboys interviewed him as well, but he decided to go back to be the defensive coordinator for San Francisco 49ers. Somebody that Kyle Shanahan is real familiar with. So bringing him home and let's see, can he get that defense to where they want to be to get those guys back up there, to be a powerhouse in the NFC, right? They got some older guys on their squad now. They got to start making decisions, but San Francisco is still going to be a team to reckon with because they have a great offensive mind as a head coach. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You look at the Cincinnati Bengals. We know they let their defensive coordinator go, but they bring in Al Golden to be their DC. He was the DC for the Fighting Irish Notre Dame. Team that played in the national championship. I don't know a lot about him. We'll just have to see if he's going to be better than Lou Amorano. That's what we're going to find out. But there you have it. Al Golden, the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. Speaking of Lou Amorano, he went to the Indianapolis Colts, so he's going to be the new DC for the Indianapolis Colts, right? So there you have it. You lose a job, but you look at his track record. I thought he had opportunity. I was talking about him being the Falcons head coach as well. So great opportunity for him to be the Falcons head coach, right? So we'll see how Lou was able to turn around the defense in Indianapolis. And then last but not least, the Atlanta Falcons hire Jeff Ulbrich to be their new defensive coordinator. We reported on that. When it to. Also, you talked about bringing in the defensive line coach and the passing game coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, there you have it. That's the news around NFL. Like I mentioned, there's still one team that has not hired a coach yet. That's the New Orleans Saints. It's no word who they're looking at right now. So it's going to be a mystery. I know they like the interim coach they had. The guys really rallied around him and played hard for him. I don't know if that's the route they want to go. The New Orleans Saints, cap situation is not that great. They got some aging players, and I think they have a question at quarterback. I know Derek Carr is still there, but I don't know how attractive that job is and why people might want it. Mickey Loomis, their GM, has really just pushed and screwed with that cap so much that you might have to go to a rebuild. New coach coming in have to understand that, and they have to be able to acknowledge that the fan base need to understand that they might have to go back to a rebuild sometime. But we'll see. But honestly, to be honest with you, being a Falcon fan, I don't care what the Inks do. I don't even care if they hire a coach. Just being honest. So, but that's the last team that has not hired in the NFL. I love talking about the lead in total, and interesting thing about it because, like I said, the parity is awesome. The NFL offseason is going to be really exciting. Getting into the draft, getting into free agency, and things like that. And we're going to talk about all those things. But I really enjoyed you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Give me your comments on who you're going to pick for the two games this weekend. We got 3 games left to go, guys. 3 games left to go in the season. Give me your picks. Do you pick the Eagles or the Commanders or the Bills or the Chiefs? Who you're picking to go to the Super Bowl? I told you my picks. I got the Eagles and against the Chiefs rematch of 2 years ago. Chiefs trying to go for the three-peat. That's what I got. Um, and then we talked about NFL coaches. Give me your thoughts on which one you think was the best hire of the offseason, for the head coaches, and who you think gonna have the most success. That's what you got to like about NFL, because now every team coming in 2025 after these last three games is going to have the mindset on how can we get better this year. And there you have it. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.